What the? Okay. Happy.
My voice cracked.
Yes, it cracked.
Crack-a-lack-it.
It crack-a-lacked. Yesh. How's everybody doing today? Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Just got to make sure that we are live in living color right now. Live in living color. Come on now. All right. Let's see. All right. All right. We are live on the YouTube. Good, good, good. Let's make sure we are live on the X. Are we live on the X? Let's see. Yes, we are. Yes, indeed, we are. All right. Is the audio working? Yeah, okay, there we go. Audio's working. Audio's working. That's good. All right. There we go. All right, let's make sure we are live on the Twitch. Are we live on the Twitch? Let me see if we are live on the Twitch. Yes. Hold on. Let's make sure. Let's make sure we are live on the Twitch and audio. All right, audio's working. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. All right, there we go. All right, Jose HH says, "Yo, is BYAI going more up?" Well, are you talking about BIYA? Because yes, it actually just went up a lot. I'm going to take a look at it right now. Actually, BIYA, because we called this stock earlier in the day, and now it's up a nice.
And yesterday at 5:50 in the morning.
Oh, and yesterday at 5:50 in the afternoon.
That's an early watch list for today for our Discord.
Yes, as an early watch list for today for our Discord. So yeah, be sure to check out our 4-day trial for the real-time alerts and scanners for only $9.99. Link to join us in the description down below as well as the pinned comment section. So be sure to check that out. We pick a lot of baggers a lot of times. We are just made different, and the early bird gets the cash. All right, BIYA now up 135%. Coach, can you pass me a pad? Uh, like a, uh, yeah. Okay. All right. Let's get this thing here, bot, right there. All right. Let me just get this. I can write my stuff down here. All right. Boom. BIYA ran up to 135%. So we're going to put that there. BIYA 135. All right. So we got that going on right there. We also called earlier this morning YGMZ. YGMZ, that stock ran up a nice 111%, 111% right there. Okay, 111. So yeah, we got those. Okay, all right. So just getting everything all shared up, getting all the announcements out, getting everything all set and ready to go. But how is everybody doing today, man? I hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. And I hope you guys are having an even better tomorrow. Hope you guys are doing well, man. I'm doing good. I'm chilling. I'm chilling. I'm with the family. You know what I mean? I'm with the family. Can never go wrong. We're chilling with the family. You know what I mean? Can never go wrong with that. All right. Let's see here. Boom. All right. Get ourselves set up here. All right. Bop. Right there. Boom. Right there. All right. Make sure that everything's all set up. Bop right there. Bop right there. All right. There we go. Mm-hmm. All right. There we go. Boom. Boom. Right there. Getting everything all out and ready to go. All right. All right. There we go. Okay. There we go here. All right. There. All right. All right. Here we go. Right there. Boom. Get all this stuff ready. All right. All right. All right. All right. Let's get this shared on the UV tubes. All right. Let's get this shared on the And by the way, Jose, thank you for reposting the stream. Thank you for reposting the stream. BIYA seems to have been going up. Seems to be going up. I mean, it went down a little bit, had a little bit of a tiny pullback, but now seems to be trying to curl its way back up a little bit. So we'll see what goes on there. We shall see what goes on. We shall see. We shall see. Hold on 1 second. Let's see what we got going on here. Boom. There we go. Boom. Right there. Boom. There we go. All right. Let's get this intro started here. What's up, guys? It's Double Nicks, and welcome to another episode of Microcap Mornings. I am your host with the most. They call me DBL Nicks in the house, aka the Rainmaker. And I am here with the lovely Serengeti specialist herself. She likes to hang around the tall weeds, the high trees, the low seas, hitting them high knees. Sometimes she likes 2 cups of coffee. Other times she likes to jet ski. Other times she gets shot out the cannon and she goes, wee! Other times she likes to go to RBs and watch videos of puppies and kitties. And also sometimes she likes to go around, steal my lo mein. Other times we throw in the stock market, she finds them ABCDs. She did, of course, find some other stonks like BIYA and, of course, WRX and YGMZ. We call her DBL Moms. All right. And that's what we got going on there, ladies and gentlemen. That is what we got going on. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, all right, before we begin, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, as well as ring that bell icon to stay notified when new videos are uploaded. And remember to share, because sharing is caring, ladies and gentlemen. Sharing is caring. And, of course, if you want access to our private Discord, link to join us in the description down below, as well as the pinned comment section. So be sure to check that out, because we pick a lot of baggers a lot of times. We are just made different folks, and the early bird gets the cash. The moolah, the loots, the cashola, the big bucks, I tell you. They get that filet mignon money, all that good stuff. All right, so Jose asked about BYAI, which I'm guessing he meant BIYA. And then after that, Top Success asked about WRX. So we're going to get into those 2 stonks, but let's get into first things first. We picked a lot of baggers today. We called 2 wonderful baggers today. We called BIYA. All right, BIYA ran up a nice 135% right there. Boom, right there. And then another stock that was called was YGMZ, which ran up a nice 111%. There we go. Boom, right there. All right. So, got that going on right there. We called those 2 wonderful stonks today. All right, we got a couple other stonks coming in, but let's take a look at BIYA. So BIYA had a nice run earlier in the morning, had a very nice run over here. Bop, right there. All right, let me actually get the graffiti pencil activated. Bop, right here. Had a bit of a pennant formed right over here over the long run. All right, let me actually get this yellow. Let me make it thicker. Thick with 2 C's. All right. And then, of course, right here, put this over here. Bot right there. Good. All right. And looks like it shot up off the pennant right over here. It did have a nice run, BIYA, up 135%. Right now, it's currently 106, so could it potentially continue to curl? Maybe. But right now, it's trying to have a bit of a pullback because it was a bit overbought in the RSI. So you got that going on right there. Let me get some support and resistance lines going for this stonk right here. Bop. And bop right there. All right, so had a bit of support and resistance lines going on right around, actually here. That's where the support and resistance lines are. Boom, right here. All right, and of course, boom, right here. Let's get this all set up over here. Bop. Okay, so let's get the support and resistance lines ready. Support is at 58 cents, resistance at 66 cents, and then 78 cents right there. It is above the VWAP and was a bit overbought in the RSI, so you got that going on right there. But it is above the VWAP, and right now the 9 EMA and the VWAP are well intersected at this point. So could it potentially go up? Maybe, but right now it's having a bit of a pullback. So could it potentially go back up? Again, we'd have to see. But right now it has to remain friends with that trend because it just curled up off the pennant. So BIYA curled off the pennant. needs to remain friends with the trend. There we go. So BIYA curled off the pennant but needs to remain friends with the trend. That's what they got going on so far. That is what they got going on. We're going to take a look at YGMZ, and then after that, we're going to look at WORX. YGMZ, all right, this stonk was a doozy earlier in the morning. It ran up a nice 111%, very low penny. It was a penny stock, clearly. It's in the NASDAQ, but it is a stock that basically is about 22 cents right now. So it fell below the VWAP, but earlier in the morning, it did have a nice run up. It had a nice run up 111%. Did a nice little ABCD right over here. Proceeded to kind of make a downward trend over here. Curled its way back up over here. And then basically made a pennant right here. So now it has to basically break above the VWAP right here for it to be somewhat schmexy to me, because it did fall below the VWAP. So right now, YGMZ needs some volume to break above that VWAP right there for it to be somewhat schmexy to me. So YGMZ needs volume to break the VWAP. All right. We're going to put some support and resistance lines on this stock right here, and then we're going to go to WRX. All right, right over here. Boom, right there. Beautiful. All right, so we got support over here at 16 cents. We got 18-cent support line, and then we also have a 20-cent support line. That support line is at 20 cents, has to break through 22, 24, and then 28 for it to be so much maxi to mya. Otherwise, it's just meh, You know how it is, ladies and gentlemen. You know how it is. As of now, though, it is not overbought or oversold in the RSI. It's pretty good. Was a bit overbought earlier in the day, but that was earlier in the day, obviously, so got that going on right there. Now it's pretty much just indifferent on the RSI. So got that going on. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, let's continue on. Let's continue forward. Let's continue on with WORX. WORX. Okay, so WORX. Let's get some support and resistance lines right over here. All right, let's see what we got going on here. Bop right here. Boom. And boom right here. All right, so as of now, WORX is a stonk that pretty much has a little bit of an A to B, B to C, C to D right there. All right, a little bit of another A, B, C, D there. A lot of A, B, C, Ds. All right, all right, and then of course this one right here. And I mean, I'm just saying this stonk got more A, B, C, Ds than a preschool, because yeah, it moved up very, very nicely, but then dropped like a rock. So right now it's pretty much right below the VWAP. Needs volume to get to the VWAP right here. So that's what it really needs. Needs volume to break that pennant and break that VWAP. Otherwise, not schmexy. You know what I mean? It needs to break through the VWAP and break through that pennant for it to really be schmexy to mya. Otherwise, So WORX needs to break the pennant and the VWAP for it to be somewhat schmexy to mya. All right, so that's what we got going on right there. That is what we got going on. Let's take a look at some other stocks here. Let's take a look at GDEN because it came in a little bit earlier. GDEN, okay, had a big old gap up, right there. A little bit of a gappy, all right, and basically is above the VWAP, but again, major price spike on some seriously low volume. Had a 17 million float, 63,000 volume, so it moved up on some low volume, gapped up on low volume actually. GDEN. Let's take a look over here. All right, GDEN. All right, gapped up on low volume. Right? I don't trust this stock really. I don't really trust this stock. It looks very, very odd, so not a big fan of it. Somebody requested FUBO. Fubo. Let's take a look at Fubo. Oh boy, very, very consolidated, very, very low on the volume. Not looking too schmexy right now. Very, very low on volume. So let me actually get this graffiti pencil right over here. Yep. All right. Yeah. Let's get the graffiti pencil right over here, because honestly, with this stock right here, it's got more barcodes than the Black Friday sale at Macy's. All right, so let's take a look over here. we got bot right here, bot right here. Not looking schmexy at all. Not looking schmexy at all. This stonk is very much so in the channel over here. Broke past the channel, but again, still very barcoded. Got a lot of indecisive wicks over here. Not looking schmexy at all. Fubo is above the VWAP, but at the same time, very, very low on volume. It is currently up 0.98%, which is not that much. As of now, let's take a look at the RSI. The RSI is leaning towards becoming overbought. So that's really what we got going on over here. And the 9 EMA is starting to separate from the VWAP. So not looking too schmexy to me. Not looking schmexy at all because it doesn't have much VWAP. So Fubo, very low volume with lots of barcoding. So we got that going on right there. That is what we got going on. All right, let's get a share party going. Let's get to 200. Let's get to actually, excuse me, 300. 300. Let's get to 300, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get to 300 because, yeah, we got some stonks to look into right now. We got some stonks to look into. All right, so give me just a second right here. All right, let's take a look at another stonk here. All right, somebody requested HKD. HKD. Let's take a look at HKD. HKD, currently another very, very low float stonk. Very, very low float. Not looking schmexy at all. At all. Let me take a look at the RSI. Very indifferent on the RSI as of now. Very, very low volume, of course. Very, very low volume. Not looking schmexy at all. Not a stonk that I personally would look at. You know, it is down 0.9%. Not looking schmexy at all. So I'll give it this. HKD. HKD needs some serious volume for it to be somewhat schmexy to me. So there we go right there. Let's take a look at ASST. ASST. All right, ASST had some barcoding as well. Another stock that, like, it's very popular stock. Pretty sure it was a meme stock. Yes, it is. So it did curl up, though, off of the little barcoding area. But again, I don't fully trust it because it is curling up off the barcoding, but it was barcoding. You know what I mean? So it's one of those stocks where, you know, it's moving up there. So I will give it credit there. It is leaning towards becoming overbought in the RSI. So you got that going on as well. So let's get this right here. Bot right here. ASST needs to remain friends with the trend, needs volume. Does need a lot of volume, so it needs volume right now. It's forming a bit of a doji candle over here, so let's be careful with this one. In my opinion, I'd be very careful with this one, in my opinion. That's just me, though. Not stock advice, not financial advice, just my opinion. So, as far as this is concerned, ASST curling up off the barcoding over here. So it is above the VWAP. That's good. So we'll see what happens. We shall see what happens, ladies and gentlemen. We shall see what happens. Let's take a look at BYND. BYND. All right, BYND. Oh, boy. Lots and lots of barcoding over here. Not looking schmexy at all. Let me take a look over here. Boom. All right. Lot of barcoding over Mya right here. All right. Lots of barcoding over Mya right here. I mean, I could go really far back and get some barcoding here. Lots of barcoding. Okay, so got this barcode over here. We got more barcoding right over here. Bing and boom. And another bit of barcoding right over here. All right. So, as of now, BYND, lots of barcoding going on here. Not very schmexy as of now. BYND needs volume to break the bar coding. Yes. So, needs to break all that barcoding. Let's take a look at open. Open, very much so, had a nice little move up here. A little bit of a move, nothing crazy, up 2%. Nothing really spectacular in regards to the stock right now. Let's take a look. Boom, right here. Had a bit of a pennant formed right above here. So open is currently just needs to break the pennant right now. That's really all it needs. It might need some volume as well, but open needs to break the pennant currently is above the RSI, or excuse me, not the RSI, it's currently above the VWAP. The RSI is showing that it's leaning more towards being different than it is towards being overbought. So you got that going on. Needs to break that little pennant and it needs to stay above the VWAP. The 9 EMA is still kind of on track with the VWAP. It's a little bit above it, but nothing crazy. It's not really diverging itself away from the VWAP, so you got that going on right there. That is what you got going on. Somebody requested ALTO. ALTO. All right, let's take a look. Wow. Okay, there's a lot of barcoding here. So, lots of barcoding going on here with ALTO. Not very schmexy. Fell below the VWAP. Not looking too good. So as of now, it needs to break the downtrend and also needs to break the barcoding because it was barcoding before. And to top it off, very, very indecisive in terms of the wicks. So very low volume. ALTO needs volume to break the VWAPA and the downtrend for it to be somewhat schmexy to me. But ALTO not looking schmexy at all. Not looking schmexy at all. All right. Just a downtrend, not looking too good. All right. Now, most people might maybe even like try to misinterpret and say, "Oh, it's descending wedge," but no, no, no. This does not look like it's going to be bullish anytime soon, especially with those very indecisive wicks going on there. So that's what we got going on right there. That is what we got going on. Let's take a look at UAVS. UAVS. Let's see how UAVS is doing. UAVS was requested to us, and yeah, very, very barcoded, very, very choppy, not looking schmexy. UAVS needs some serious volume for it to be somewhat schmexy to me. UAVS needs volume, very choppy. Very choppy. All right. The bird nose asks for LAC. All right, let's take a look at LAC. LAC over here. All right, LAC is currently had a nice little uptrend all the way back here, so I will give it credit there. A little bit of an uptrend, had a little uptrend over here, went back down just a little bit right here, and then curled its way on up over here, made a bit of a descending wedge right here, curled off that descending wedge just a little bit right there. All right, and then kind of just remained consolidated along the VWAP as of now. So as of now with the VWAP, it kind of stayed above it a little bit, dropped below it a little bit, but has for the most part remained, just relatively consolidated towards the VWAP, right? So as of now for this stock, it's one of those stocks that needs some serious volume for it to be so much maxi tumya, but right now it's currently consolidating on the VWAPA, needs to break above, needs to break above the VWAP and curl for it to be somewhat schmexy to me. I need some volume, really. That's what LAC needs, because right now LAC is just consolidating along the VWAP. Maybe makes a nice little pop above, maybe a little bit of a dip, but all in all, it's pretty much just sticking there. It was a bit overbought, leaning towards being overbought in the RSI. Now it's not really. It's really relatively indifferent on the RSI, but now it's like leaning towards being oversold again. So you got that going on right there. That's what you got going on. And by overbought, I meant oversold. Oversold right here, because this is the area which is showing how oversold it is. So it was leaning towards being oversold, went up just a little bit, and then became indifferent on the RSI. So we got that going on right there. As for the 9 EMA, the 9 EMA is converging with the VWAP, which is a good sign, but again, needs some serious volume for it to be so much mexy to mya. Let's take a look at OSRH. OSRH. Let's take a look at that real quick. And let's get a share party going on. Let's get to 600. 600, ladies and gentlemen. Come on now. Let's get to 600, ladies and gents. All right. Let's get a zoom in the room over here. So, OSRH, very, very low on volume. Has a bit of an uptrend on low volume. The float is 5 million, which is relatively reasonable. Volume is 3 million. So, needs some more volume for it to be so much maxi to mya, but it is close in terms of volume to the float for the stock. So 3 million. It's just about 2 million away from 5 million. So what's going to be going on there is right now it's just kind of trending upwards. So OSRH moving up on low volume right now. Let's see if the volume can catch up to the float. That would be pretty good for the stock. So OSRH on the uptrend on low volume. So can it curl? Can it continue? Let's see. Let's see what happens. It needs to remain friends with the trend for it to be somewhat schmexy to mya. So we got that going on right there. That's what we got going on. Currently, it is a bit overbought in the on the RSI over here. Little bit overbought. So we'll see what happens right here. We shall see. We shall see. Let's take a look at BBAI. BBAI currently very, very choppy as well. Not looking too schmexy right now. Not looking schmexy. Really moved up a little bit and then just like made a pennant right here. So as of now, moved up a bit. Currently up 1%. 1% right now. All right. Had a bit of a pennant right over here. It needs to break the pennant for it to be so much schmexy to mya, because right now it's just not feeling too schmexy as of now. So BBAI, very low volume needs to break the pennant for it to be so much schmexy to mya. So that's what we got going on there. Let's get a share party going on. Let's get a share party going. Let's get to 700. 700, ladies and gentlemen. Come on now. Let's get to 700. Yes, sir. All right. What are the stonks we got here? Somebody requested RR. Ooh, RR. All right. This stonk, very, very low on the volume. Look at all those indecisive wicks right there. A lot of indecisive wicks going on right here. Bing and boom. Right there. A lot of dropping and popping and dropping and popping and dropping and popping. And it's very, 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 very consolidated. Very, very, very choppy. Not a good sign for the stunk right here. Needs some volume. Needs a lot of volume right now. Because the RSI looks more like a heartbeat. A very messed up heartbeat. A heartbeat nonetheless. But yeah, it looks more like a heartbeat than it does an actual RSI, because it's so low on volume that it's basically, not there, right? It's so I mean, it's so low on volume that it might as well be mute. I mean, that's where we're at right now. So that's what we got going on right here. So as far as RR goes, not very schmexy, needs some volume, and to top it off, while it is above the VWAP, it's not looking too good because the 9 EMA is diverging away from the VWAP right now. So even if it does go up a little bit, it might just go back down again. And that's kind of just an issue with this stonk right here. Hopefully it does gain some more volume though. RR needs a lot of volume for it to be so much maxi to mya. RR needs volume. Very choppy. Very choppy. So as of now, this stunk is very, very choppy. Up 1% right there. Not looking too schmexy. Let's take a look at BIYA, because I think BIYA is trying to curl right now a little bit. Did try to curl just a bit and had to break the pennant right over mya. Boom, right there. So it had to basically break through that. All right. All right. All right. There we go. So as of now, BIYA needs to break another pennant right here for it to be so much maxi to mya. It is still above the VWAP. The 9 EMA and the VWAP are still relatively close, with the 9 EMA starting to divulge a little bit from the RSI as of now, starting to separate a little bit. So we got that going on right there. Needs some volume. Actually, no. Actually, it already has volume. It has volume just fine. It has volume in spades, as a matter of fact. I mean, it's got a 10 million float, 113 million volume. It just needs to break that pennant for it to be so much maxi to mya. So as of now, BIYA needs to break the pennant and curl past the high of 135% right there. Can it break through? Let's see. Let's see. We shall see. But right now, currently, it has to hold above the 58-cent line, which is a support line, break through 65 cents, which is resistance, and then after that, break through 77 cents, which is also resistance right there. So we got that going on right there. That is what we got going on. Let's take a look at another stock right here. Let's take a look at YGMZ. YGMZ. All right, so as of now with YGMZ, we called it earlier in the morning. YGMZ called it earlier in the morning. As of now, it needs to break this pennant and needs to break above the VWAPA for it to be somewhat mexy to me. I mentioned this before. He did have a nice run earlier in the day, hit a nice high of 111%, but that was pretty much all that happened with YGMZ. So as of now with YGMZ, it's a stonk that kind of just needs to get some more volume to basically break that pennant. Needs to break the pennant. And the VWAPA needs volume to break those things. All right. Has volume just fine, or at least had volume just fine, but now it needs a bit more volume so it could break that pennant and curl back up to maybe its former glory. Who knows? Who knows? We shall see what happens. But right now, it's one of those stonks where it's like, okay, meh. What have you done for me lately? What have you done for me lately? You know what I mean? Because this stonk, needs to break that pennant. Needs to break that pennant. Needs to break the VWAP for it to be so much mexy to me. All right, let's take a look over here. What other stonks do we have going on? What other stonks we got going on here? Somebody requested NUAI. NUAI. All right, let's take a look at NUAI. So, NUAI currently on the uptrend right now. A little bit, very choppy uptrend, but an uptrend nonetheless. So, it is currently alongside the RSI, the 90 MA, and the RSI and the VWAP are looking pretty good. They're close enough to each other, but the 90 MA is starting to separate just a little bit, so got to keep an eye on that. But it is a bit overbought in the RSI as well, so that is a little bit of a whoop whoop alert. But if it can stay moving its way on up and remain friends with the trend, that's good. NUAI has a bit of a choppy uptrend going on, so as far as I'm concerned, me personally, I'd be careful, but that's me personally. Let's get a share party going on. Let's get to 900. Come on now. Let's get to 900, ladies and gentlemen. Come on. All right. So, got that going on right there. That is what we got going on. NUAI on a choppy uptrend. On a choppy uptrend right there. So me personally, I'll keep an eye on it, but as of now, NUAI needs some volume to remain friends with the trend, needs to remain friends with that trend, needs to remain friends with the trend. So we got that going on right there. And ladies and gentlemen, if you like what you're seeing, you want to see more, be sure to check out our 4-day trial for our real-time alerts and scanners for only $9.99. Link to join us in the description down below, as well as the pinned comment section. So be sure to check that out. We pick a lot of baggers a lot of times. We were just made different, folks. And the early bird gets the cash, the moolah, the loot, the cashola, the big bucks, I tell you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, you get access to the amazing market movers scanner. You get access to the amazing newsroom. You get access to the amazing group that we have going on here. You get access to our amazing indelible community. These are very, very wonderful and supportive people. It's just a joy to be around these people. It's a joy to to work together, make money, help each other out. You know what I mean? It's a wonderful community. So yeah, very good community. I love it here. So quite frankly, you should check it out because they are very supportive people, very supportive group. So yeah, check them out. And of course, if you want access to the wealth builders, you can gain access to the wealth builders as well, ladies and gentlemen. Gain access to the wealth builders as well, and that gives you access to everything in the real-time alerts and scanners. Plus, to top it off, you also get access to exclusive content for the wealth builders, such as exclusive wealth builder content. You get access to exclusive educational content. You get access to Coach and myself. You also get access to exclusive picks, exclusive video scripts, all sorts of amazing stuff. You get access to it, ladies and gentlemen, all by clicking the link in the description down below and joining the Wealth Builders. So be sure to check that out, ladies and gentlemen. Let's take a look at FTEL because FTEL came in. FTEL, let's take a look over here, see what we got going on with FTEL. So FTEL had a bit of a price spike on some low volume over here. I could just tell by looking at it, it's got low volume. Actually, no, never mind. I stand corrected because the float for this stock is 350,000. Volume is 2 million. So FTEL currently has a bit of a Oh, hold on. Let me get rid of that. Boom, right there. Okay, so, all right, yeah, ban, yeesh, yeesh. All right, so there we go. FTEL now has a bit of a price spike going on over here. FTEL price spike needs volume to keep that uptrend, because right now it is forming a top tail. We don't like the top tails. We like the bottom tails. Yes, sir. We like the bottom tails, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we got going on. All right. As of now, with FTEL, has a bit of an uptrend going on over here. It needs to break, continue that uptrend, but right now it is currently moving downward. It was a bit overbought in the RSI over here, which is where the price spike was rather indifferent on the RSI before. Shot up, had a major price spike, became overbought in the RSI, and now it looks to be consolidating and bringing itself back down along the VWAP. Currently, the 9EMA is very much so below the VWAP right now. 9EMA is at 259, VWAP is at 319. And it looks like this stonk is currently falling back down to meet up with the 9EMA. So, not looking too schmexy right here. FTEL, again, needs some volume for it to really remain somewhat schmexy to mya. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. So, what other stonks do we have here? Let's take a look. Let's take a look over here. Let's see what other stonks we got here. GDEN. Let's take a look at GDEN again. GDEN seems to have been coming back a little bit, but right now still had this little gap up here. Needs to deal with the consolidation because it is a bit overbought now. Also a little bit expensive as well. $29.98. Not a big fan of expensive stonks, but I will say this: GDEN needs volume to break the consolidation. So we got that going on right there. Boom. All right. So we got that. All right. All right. Now, what are the stonks we got going on here? What are the stonks we got? All right. So we took a look at UAVS. We took a look at NUAI. Let's take a look at BIYA again, see how BIYA is handling itself. Right now, I think BIYA is moving downward a bit because it did have a nice run. It ran up 135%, but it's one of those stonks where right now it kind of just shot up and kind of just popped its cherry, and now all of a sudden it's going back down. So needs to break up, needs to hold above the VWAP. Doesn't look like it's going to though. So BIYA, I'm glad you ran up 135%. I'm glad you had that nice run. I'm glad you did all these amazing little things here. But what have you done for me lately? What have you done for me lately, man? That's all I'm going to say. That. What have you done for me lately? What have you done for me lately? All right, so BIYA currently, right now, needs to break the VWAP and the pennant for it to be so much mexy to me. BIYA needs to break the pennant and the VWAP for it to be so much maxi to mya. All right, that's what we got going on there, folks. That is what we got going on. Let's take a look at another stonk right here. Let's take a look at another stonk. All right. All right, all right, all right. Let's see how people are doing with Open. Let's take a look at Open again. Open, OPEN. Let's see if it developed a little bit more volume. Nope, fell below the VWAP right now. So Open needs to break the VWAP and needs to break the little descending wedge right here for it to be so much mexy to mya. So right now, Open needs to break the descending wedge and the VWAP for it to be so much mexy to mya. All right, and ladies and gentlemen, let's get a share party going on. Let's get a share party going on. Let's get to 1100, actually, excuse me, 1200 right there for us to be schmexy. You know what I mean? For us to be schmexy. And ladies and gentlemen, remember to check us out on our YouTube channel as well at Coach Money, at Coach Money, at Coach Money. Yes, and be sure to check us out on our X.com, aka Twitter, if you're not already there, at Coach Money. At Coach Money. You can find us on our Twitch as well, at Coach Money. At Coach Money. And you can find us on our X.com, our actually Facebook, Instagram, and Threads at Coaching Money. at Coaching Money. And of course, you can find us on our TikTok, Tiki or as I like to call it, the Tac Tac. The Tac Tac. Yes, you can find us there at DBL Nicks. At DBL NICKS, and the screen name is Coach Nick Money. And ladies and gentlemen, let's continue on. But yes, be sure to check that out. Be sure to check out our 4-day trial for the real-time alerts and scanners for only $9.99. Link to join us in the description down below, as well as the pinned comment section. So be sure to check that out because we pick a lot of baggers a lot of times, ladies and gentlemen. We already called BIYA, which ran 135%. We called YGMZ before it ran 111%. We called these baggers before anybody else or it has ever been seen in the public, ladies and gentlemen. We already called them, ladies and gents. We called BIYA. How long ago did we call BIYA?
Last night.
We called it last night.
It was an early watch list for this morning before it ran 135%.
Oh my, we actually did.
No 5% runners here.
Yeah, we don't do no 5% runners. We actually called, BIYA. We called it yesterday.
5:30?
Yesterday at around 5:30. Yes.
Yes, sir.
All right, right over here. Yes. So we called it yesterday at 5:30 in our early watch list for our private Discord. Again, link to join us in the description down below. Be sure to check that out because we got a bunch of supportive people. We got a very supportive community, a bunch of scanners, a bunch of tools, and a wonderful newsroom, all of which you got to check it out, man. Got to check it out because it is amazing. All right. It's amazing what we got going on here. The community is growing and growing and growing, and I got you guys to thank for it. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Without you guys, none of this would be possible. So, yeah, that's what we got over here. And ladies and gentlemen, if you want to get access to the Wealth Builders, which basically gives you access to everything the real-time alerts and scanners gives you, plus exclusive content for the Wealth Builders, such as educational content. And to top it off, you get access to Coach and myself, and also, ladies and gentlemen, you get access to scripts, behind-the-scenes stuff, all sorts of amazing good stuff. All you got to do is click the link in the description to get yours. And yeah, that's it. That's it. That's it. I live on the 5th floor. That's it. All right. So let me just get this stretching. Ooh. And then we'll get some more stonks. You know what I mean? We'll get some more stonks right here. Ooh. All right. There we go. As of now, let's take a look at BHF. Let's see how BHF is doing. BHF. All right, BHF currently consolidated along the VWAP, just below it actually. Had a big gap up, not very schmexy right now, so BHF needs some volume and also needs to break the VWAP. BHF gapped up. Oh, hold on. BHF gapped up. Needs to break the VWAPA with some volume for it to be somewhat schmexy to me. All right, let's see what else we got over here. What else we got? All right, FTEL. All right, FTEL currently right over here had a price spike, made a bit of a top tail, went down a little bit, and now is basically just making a bit of a pennant along the VWAP over here, so needs to break the VWAP, remain above the VWAP right now. It is slightly above the VWAP as of now, so needs to remain above it for it to be somewhat schmexy to me. Let me get some support and resistance lines over here. Actually, bop right here, bop, and bop right there. All right, so we got support at 3. We got actually support at 286, then resistance at 306, which is just breaking above right now. Then the VWAP, which is 308. After that, 326, 350, and then, of course, 389. So we got that going on right there, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we got going on. And, of course, let's get this over here. Boom, boom, and boom right there. All right, has to break this pennant for it to be somewhat schmexy to me. So FTEL needs to break the VWAPA and the pennant for it to be somewhat schmexy to me. Boom, right there. That's what we got going on. All right. What are the stonks we got going on here? What are the stonks we got? Let me add them. Let me add them right here. Let's see here. So, other stocks we got going on are FRGE. FRGE. Let's take a look at FRGE. All right. FRGE currently had a price spike and pretty much consolidated off that price spike since then. So FRGE had a nice price spike right over MIA. Very expensive stock as well. Had a price spike off the 37-cent mark. Actually, I'd say, yeah, 37.62. All right. Expensive stock, not very schmexy to MIA. Very consolidated along this line right over here. So not very schmexy, but did have a nice shot upward. Nice little price spike right over MIA. So got that going on right there. FRGE, however, is up 67%, but needs volume because right now the 9 EMA has basically moved further away from the VWAP. And not only that, it's very much so consolidated along the 9 EMA. So right now, we'll take a look over here. FRGE needs volume to break the consolidation off the price spike. Right there. That's what FRGE needs. That's what it needs, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my. Oh my. What else we got? Yes. Yes, what else do we have here? Let's see. All right. As far as other stocks we got going on, let's take a look over here. All right.
FTEL moving.
Ooh, FTEL moving? Okay, all right. We'll take a look at FTEL. Never mind. FTEL. FTEL. Let's see how FTEL is doing. FTEL curling off that pennant right now. Look at that right there. Currently curling off that pennant, up 74% right now, testing the high of day. It already broke through it, actually, so let's move the high of day up here. But currently, right now, it is climbing off the pennant right here, and looks like it's trying to test that high of day. So let me get that right there. FTEL, FTEL. Let's get a share party going. Let's get to 1,500. 1,500, ladies and gentlemen. FTEL curling off the VWAPA. Actually, off the pennant. Testing the high of day. So, yeah, that's what we got going on right there. That is what we got going on. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. So, as of now, FTEL currently doing its thing. Up 88% now. Oh, my. Curling. Moving its way on up. My. Currently has a new high. Oh, boy. Broke through at 92 cents. 94% right now. 94%. Not 112% already. New bagger. Take a look at that, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh my.
Oh, my. New bagger. Take a look at this new bagger right over here. Look at that. FTEL. Right? Called it all the way down here at 220. Now it is now. Oh, my. 126%. Oh, my. Up $5.14. We called this stock right back down here at 223. Now it is $5.14. Make it make sense. Oh, wait. It doesn't make sense. It makes dollars. Yeah. Okay. FTEL 152%. Oh my. FTEL 152%. All right. So FTEL broke through the high, hit a high of 152% right there. So FTEL broke the high of day and curled off the pennant, went up 152%. New bagger, baby. And that's the difference between us and others, man. That's the difference, man. We call stocks that actually run. We don't call like no 1% runners, no 2% runners, no 5% runners. No, we call stocks that actually run 157%. That stock just shot up to 157%, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just saying. Just saying. Right there. Yeah. All right, let me get some support over here. All right, let's make sure that we got everything here. Oh, looks like it's trying to test it once again. FTEL doing its thing right here. While we're waiting for it, though, let's take a look at MTC. MTC, see how MTC is doing while we wait for FTEL. MTC fell below the VWAPA. Fell below the VWAPA. It was moving and grooving, but it did fall below the VWAPA. Below the VWAPA right here. So we got that going on. Let me get the graffiti pencil activated. The graffiti. All right. Graffiti pencil activated. Bop right there. Needs to break that pennant for it to be so much Mexi to Mya, and also needs to break the VWAP. But right now, MTC is down 29%, so it has a real ways to go right now for it to be so much Mexi to Mya. MTC needs volume to break the pennant and the VWAPA for it to be so much Mexi to Mya. For it to be so much Mexi to Mya. Yeesh. Alright. Okay, so as of now, MTC needs volume for it to really go back up. Let's take a look at ALTO in the meantime. ALTO. Let's see how we got what we got going over here. What we got? Let me add them. All right, let's take a look at ALTO. Alto, which is like the cadence of a singer. You know what I mean? Like alto is like a deeper voice. You know what I mean? Soprano is like the higher voice. You know what I mean? So you got that going on. Alto looks like it's trying to test that VWAP a little bit. Still needs some volume to test that VWAP, but it is curling off the downtrend. So I'll give it that credit right there. ALTO, curling off the downtrend and trying to break the VWAPA. Needs volume for it to be so much Maxi to Mya. Boom, right there, ladies and gentlemen. Woo! All right, let's take a look at another stonk right there. NFE. Somebody requested NFE. So let's take a look. NFE, very, very low volume over here. Very, very indecisive wicks. Not looking schmexy at all. Not something I personally would trust. As of now, pretty much it's just and at best. Maybe it's a pennant right here, but it's a very low volume pennant because there's a lot of consolidation here. NFE, lots of consolidation. NFE, low volume and lots of consolidation on the and lots of consolidation on this chart right here, on the chart right here. Because right now, not looking schmexy. Not looking schmexy at all. Not looking too schmexy. Let's see what we got going on. It's trying to curl above it, though. I'll give it credit there. But NFE, up $1.61%. Not looking too good in terms of that. So we'll see what happens, ladies and gentlemen. We shall see what happens with the stunk. Hopefully it does good. You know what I mean? So, yeah. That's what we got going on right here. That is what we got going on. And ladies and gentlemen, we are almost near power hour. We got about, I'd say, a little less than 20 minutes until the, not power hour. I was stuck on the other show. Our other show, which is Power Plays with Coach Nick Money. All right. So, the star of Power Plays. That is Coach Nick Money right there. But I meant to say, I meant to say the bell. The bell! The bell! It deafens me! Ah! NFE looks like it broke above the view up and now is trying to curl off that pennant right now. So we'll see what happens here. We shall see what happens here. We shall see. We shall see. All right. As of now, though, NFE, Let's take a look at ALTO. ALTO. Somebody requested ALTO again. ALTO again, trying to climb, just broke the VWAP nicely, but right now still has a ways to go until it can actually get anywhere useful. So Let me get some support and resistance lines right here. Boom. And boom. Has a ways to go still. So, as of now, this stock has to hold above 151, break 159, and then break 173 for it to be somewhat schmexy to me. Otherwise, meh, eh. You know how it was, ladies and gentlemen. You know how it was. All right. All right, all right, all right. So, the other stocks we got going on over here are for. Let's take a look at ASST. ASST. ASST right now. ASST currently above the channel over here. Had a bit of a channel going on here. Had a bit of movement. A little bit of movement. Hit up over here. Now needs to hold above the pennant right now for it to be so much mexy to mya. So needs to break above this pennant and break above the V and hold above the VWAPA, but it looks like ASST is dropping right now. ASST not looking too schmexy right now. Not looking schmexy. It looks like it's dropping and falling below the VWAP. ASST needs volume to remain above the VWAPA, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we got going on right there. Let's get a share party going on. Let's get to 1900. 1900. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. All right. So, ASST needs to hold above that VWAP, but that's pretty much what it's got going on right there. It looks like it's not going to hold above it. It needs to hold above that VWAP, break through that pennant, for it to be somewhat schmexy to meh, but otherwise, not looking too schmexy right there. All right, let's see what else we got. What else we got? Let me add them. Let me add them right here. Let me see. Let me see what else we got here. All right. Let's take a look at NFE. See how NFE is holding up. NFE. All right, NFE still trying to test that pennant right now. NFE trying to test the pennant on low volume. NFE trying to test the pennant on low volume. Yeesh. So we got that going right there. All right. So what other stocks we got going on here? What other stocks we got? Let's see about OSCR. Somebody requested OSCR. Let's see how that one's doing, ladies and gentlemen. OSCR currently climbed above the VWAP a little bit. Climbed above the VWAP. It says that that shares are trading higher after the company beat their Q3 earnings estimates. So they got that going on as well. As of now, it is moving up a little bit over here. So, yeah, got that happening, ladies and gentlemen. Got that happening right there. Right now, it's curling above the VWAP. So, OSCR looking all right. All right. A little solid. Not solid, but it's all right. OSCR as of now, curling above the VWAP, needs volume. OSCR curling above the VWAPA. So we got that there. That's what we got going on right there. All right. So what other stonks do we have going on today? What other stonks do we got going on? Let's see what we got going on here. Somebody requested DKNG DraftKings. DKNG. Pretty sure that's the it's like the little sports gambling website, isn't it? DKNG DraftKings. I think so. I think it is. I think it's one of those sports gambling websites, which it be like that sometimes, ladies and gentlemen. It do be like that. So, I mean, me personally, I don't know. I don't normally invest in the sports. I don't. I invest in the stonks. I don't invest in the sports. They're all like, oh, I got this football team, the Tom Brady. I don't know much about football. All I know is one guy tackles the other guy, and then you got to get the ball across the field, and then you throw it down aggressively while jumping up and down after you score the touchdown thing, or you kick the ball over the little loopy thing, the hoopy thing that like looks like little prongs, like little prongs and stuff like that. You kick it over there from like a certain amount of feet away, and then like yeah, so very fun little game there. And sometimes a couple of concussions occur, but that's life. So that's basically my knowledge of football. I'm more of a wrestling guy, like a WWE guy. You know what I mean? A little bit of a WWE guy. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm down for right there. I'm all about that stuff. So yeah, as far as I'm concerned, DKNG as of now is moving upward over here, moved upward right here, then pretty much shot its load downward over here, and now needs to break a descending wedge for it to be so much Mexi Tumya. Needs to break the descending wedge and also needs to break the pennant right here. So DKNG needs to break the descending wedge and the VWAPA for it to be somewhat schmexy to Mya. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. So that's what we got going on so far, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Let's take a look at some other stuff here. Let's take a look at NVAX. Somebody requested NVAX right here. And by the way, DKNG has a conference call scheduled tomorrow. So NVAX right here currently has a conference call in progress as of now. Let me actually, get this over Mya right here. All right. All right, all right. So, as of now, NVAX currently loading here. Currently loading. Yeah. Give me the thing. Give me the thing. Come on, NVAX. Don't be difficult. All right, let me take a look at BHF. All right, give it a second. Give it a second. Otherwise, I might have to reload it. We all know what happens when I gotta reload. Yeesh. All right, let me get this over here. It just happens from time to time. Let me get. Yeah, the thing is being a pain in the butt. The thing is being a pain in the butt. Yeah. No, the stream's just fine. It's just you know, your chart. Sometimes the chart gets a little temperamental. It's a little temperamental. You know what I mean? A little temperamental. Don't worry, I got something for it. It's called. Oh, okay, it's back. It's back. I was about to exit out and replace it with something else. It's back. All right. All right. All right. All right. Let's take a look at BIYA. 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 Still moving downward. Fell below the VWAP. Not schmexy anymore. BIYA. BIYA needs to break the VWAPA and the descending wedge. Yeah. That's what they got going on right there. BIYA. All right. What other stunks do we have here? All right. Let's take a look at NVAX, and then we'll go to another stunk. NVAX. Currently, NVAX is falling below the VWAPA, fell below the VWAP, had not a lot of volume, did not have much in terms of the volume department. So as of now, with this stock, just needs to break the downtrend and needs to break the VWAPA for it to be so much maxi to Mya. NVAX, let's get a share party going, by the way. Let's get to 2400. 2400. NVAX, NVAX needs to break the downtrend and the VWAPA for it to be so much schmexy to Mya. All right. So What other stonks we got over here? Let's see here. All right, let's take a look at OSCR. OSCR, how's it doing? OSCR fell below the VWAP, not looking schmexy. OSCR. All right, let's take a look over here. OSCR, not schmexy, fell below the VWAP. The trend line, and the VWAP. Not schmexy. Not schmexy. Meh, Not schmexy. Get rid of that. All right. So, yeesh. Let's see what else we got over here. CM asks, HKD back in play? Let's take a look. HKD. HKD. Nope. Not at all back in play, in my opinion. No. Very, very low volume. Needs some serious volume for it to be so much Mexi Tumia and break that VWAP. Also needs to break, basically just break that VWAP. That's really what it's got going on here. It has more of a channel time to it. So channel time, it's channel time right here. All right, so let's see. Has this going on right over here. Needs to break the channel, needs to break the VWAP for it to be so much Maxi Tumia. Needs a lot of volume to break the channel and the VWAP right now. So HKD needs to break the channel and the VWAP with some volume for it to be so much Maxi Tumia. Otherwise, it's just not looking too good, not looking too schmexy as of now. We'll see what happens, ladies and gentlemen. We shall see what happens right now. But right now, it's not looking too pretty. Not looking pretty. Not something that looks schmexy to me. So We'll see what we got here, ladies and gentlemen. We shall see what we got. All right. So, as of now, we got basically 3 baggers so far. 3 baggers. Bit of a slow day, a little bit of a slow day, but somebody requested TEAM. Let's take a look at TEAM. TEAM, let's see how that's doing. Currently down 0.59%. Not looking good right here. Very, very, very choppy. Very much so below the VWAP as of now. Not looking schmexy. So TEAM, not looking pretty right now. Very, very low volume. A lot of indecisive wicks. So fell below the VWAP. TEAM, very low volume. Fell below the VWAP. Very choppy. Very, very choppy, ladies and gentlemen. Very, very choppy. Not schmexy at all. All right. What other stonks we got here? Let's take a look at GDEN. See how GDEN is holding up still. GDEN still got that little gap going on there. Still needs to break that consolidation. So GDEN needs to break the consolidation for it to be so much Maxi Tumia. Yes, sir. Let's get a share party going on. Let's get to 2,600. 2,600. All right. And actually, GDEN does have some news that Golden Entertainment shares are trading higher after announcing it'll be acquired in a $30 per share deal by Blake Sartini and VC Properties. So, yeah, they got an acquisition going on. They're being acquired by one Blake Sartini and VC Properties. So that's why Golden Entertainment is currently moving upward, but right now it's kind of just consolidated along the VWAP, just above the VWAP like a little bit, and that's about it. And as for their 9 EMA, it's kind of rising and meeting the VWAP, but right now it is very, very consolidated. So not schmexy at all, not looking too good. Not something I would personally look into. We are 1 minute away from the bell. The bell. It deafens me. We are 1 minute away. 1 minute away. Less than a minute actually. So let's get ready. Let's get ready for it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get ready. Let's get ready for it, ladies and gents. Come on now. Come on now. You ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Can you dig it? All right. Come on now. Come on. Ding, 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 ding. There's the bell right there, ladies and gentlemen. The bell is here. The bell. The bell. Ah. All right. There we go. All right. Enough joking around. All right. Let's take a look at this stuff that's going on with the bell right now. So how's the bell doing? What's going on with the bell right here? Let's take a look at RAGE. Somebody requested RAGE. All right. Looks like a sub penny stock, but we'll take a look at it. RAGE. RAGE. Not something. Not showing up. Not showing up. Not schmexy. Not schmexy. Let's take a look at another stonk right here. Let's take a look at CELH. Somebody requested CELH. So let's take a look at CELH. Let's take a look right here. All right. So CELH currently needs to break the downtrend, needs to break the VWAPA as well. And also, yeah, the 90 MA has to start curling and breaking through the VWAPA. And yeah, otherwise it's just not schmexy at all. Not schmexy. And Celsius Holdings shares are trading lower after the company reported Q3 financial results. So CELH.
Curling.
Oh my. CELH. Hold on, let me put CELH. Needs to break the VWAP and the down trend. Now let's take a look at BIYA. BIYA curling broke above that VWAP. Can you believe it? 117%. Curling, baby, curling. All right, BIYA. Curling back up, ladies and gentlemen. Curling off that descending wedge. See, I told you there was nothing to worry about. Just kidding. All right, BIYA curling off the descending wedge. Broke the VWAP. Broke the VWAPA. Is there any news on BIYA? Let me see if there's news on it. Let's see if there's news. BIYA had a shareholder meeting on October 23rd for a share consolidation, but as of now, no other news has been reported. Now it's forming a bit of a top tail. We don't like the top tails. We like the bottom tails. We like the bottom tails, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get a share party going. Let's get to 2,800. 2,800. Come on now. All right. Let's see. All right. So, as of now, BIYA currently is curling off of the VWAPA and the descending wedge. So that's what's got going on right there. That is what they got going on right there. Yeesh. As of now, though, it's one of those stonks where it's like, we got to see what happens, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see what happens. Let us see what happens. So right now, BIYA trying to test that resistance line at 58 cents right now. Trying to test that resistance line. Needs to break above the 58-cent mark, then break through 65, and then finally 77 for it to be so much maxi to mya. Otherwise, it's just You know how it goes, ladies and gentlemen. Right now, fell below the VWAP again. All right. All right. So BIYA still has a ways to go. Let's take a look at another stonk in the meantime while we're here. What other stonks can we look at? Let's see. HKD. How's HKD doing? let's take a look at HKD. HKD. All right. Very, very choppy still. Very, very choppy. Has not broken the channel, has not broken the VWAP. So HKD has yet to break the channel or VWAPA for it to be so much mexy to me. But HKD is not looking schmexy. Not looking schmexy. All right, let's see what other stonks we got today. What other stonks we got today? Today? Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. Let me see here. Let's see. Somebody requested Snap. 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 All right. Snappiness is in order then for Snap. Okay. Let's take a look at Snap then. SNAP. SNAP. All right. Snap currently needs to break the downtrend right over MIA. For it to be so much mexy to MIA. So Snap kind of needs to break above this downtrend and also break the VWAPA. Needs to break the downtrend, needs to break the VWAPA for it to be so much mexy to MIA. Snap shares were trading higher after the company reported better than expected Q3 financial results. But as of now, SNAP needs to break the downtrend and the VWAPA for it to be so much mexy to MIA. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. What are the stonks we got here? Since we are here, let's see. GDTC. Let's take a look at GDTC. GDTC. Cytomed Therapeutics Limited. Doesn't have any news seemingly from over here, but it does have a bit of a double top. We don't like the double tops. We like the double bottoms. Right now, it looks like it's falling down below. Looks like it is currently, at this point in time, very low on volume. Very low on the volume. So GDTC needs volume for it to be so much mexy to MIA. GDTC needs volume to break the double top and the VWAP. Yesh. So that's what we got going on, folks. That's what we got going on. Let's get a share party going on. Let's get to 3,100. 3,100, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get to 3,100 right there. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. SITM. That is another one that came in. SITM. Let's take a look. SITM currently above the VWAP, but at the same time had some consolidation and a lack of volume earlier. So while I do appreciate the little bit of price movement upward, as of now, this stock needs volume. So SITM needs volume to stay above the VWAPA. Yesh. All right. Okay. So, what other stocks we got here? Let's see. Let's see what else we got here. What else we got? What else we got? Let me add them. Let me add them. All right. All right. All right. All right. Let's see. Somebody requested OPTT. Let's take a look at OPTT. All right. OPTT has a channel right over MIA. Not looking too schmexy there. Let's take a look over here as far as OPTT is concerned. Very, very low volume, but also a lot of consolidation. Fell below the VWAP. Not looking schmexy. OPTT needs to break above the VWAPA. Not below it. Not below it. You don't want to be below the VWAPA. You want to be above the VWAPA. That's what you want to be. All right. Let's see what else we got here. What other stocks do we have, ladies and gentlemen? Let's take a look and a gander at some more stocks, ladies and gents. All right, let's see here. All right, let's look at the comments over here for ourselves. Oh, okay. Somebody requested LTBR. Let's take a look at LTBR. LTBR. Let's see. All right, very, very low volume on this stock as well, moving downward. Needs to break above the VWAPA. So needs to break that downtrend, needs to break the VWAP. LTBR, very low volume as of now. LTBR, very low volume. Needs to break the VWAPA for it to be somewhat maxi to me. All right. So this is what we got going on here. Right? What are the stonks we got going on that we can take a look at over here? Let's take a look. Let's take a look right here. All right. Let's see. Let's take a look at ASST again. ASST. Let's see how ASST is doing. All right. ASST currently needs to break above the VWAP, needs to also break. Let me update this actually, because now it seems like it's forming a bit more of a descending wedge than it is an actual pattern. Oh, wait, nope, nope, still a pennant. Still a pennant for now. Bit of a descending wedge, actually. So, let's see here. As of now, for the stunk, ASST needs to break the descending wedge and the VWAPA. So that's what we got going on for the stunk, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we got going on. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's pretty much it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, as well as ring that bell. Actually, hold on. Wait. BIYA trying to curl its way on up. Come on. Come on. Come on, baby. Come on, I saw that 135 movement you try to do. You know what I mean? Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. There we go. Come on. Yeesh. All right. So, yeesh. So right now, BIYA is on the uptrend, up 122%. Can it break through the lovely 135%? Yeesh. All right, so thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, as well as ring that bell icon to stay notified when new videos are uploaded. And remember to share. Sorry about that. I was keeping an eye on BIYA real quick. But, yeah. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, ring that bell icon to stay notified when new videos are uploaded, and remember to share, because sharing is caring, ladies and gentlemen. Sharing is caring. And of course, if you want access to our private Discord, the link to join is in the description down below, as well as the pinned comment section, so be sure to check that out. We pick a lot of baggers a lot of times. We are just made different, and the early bird gets the cash, the moolah, the loot, the cashola, the big bucks, I tell you. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, when you join our 4-day trial for the real-time alerts and scanners, you will gain access to the amazing Market Movers scanner right over here, which has hyperlinks that give you access to all sorts of stonks that we are currently looking at, right? And of course, to top it off, you get access to the newsroom, which also gives you hyperlinks that basically show what I'm working on. And to top it off, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to get the amazing community, get the real-time alerts and scanners, man. Get it for $9.99 for the first 4 days, man. That's what you get going on right there. All right, and if you get that, you get access to an amazing community of people, amazing community of folks who love to help each other, who love to raise each other up. They love to basically grow and make a lot of money. That's what they love to do. Me too, quite frankly. You know what I mean? I like the community, love the community, all right? Love you guys as well, because you are the indelibles. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, you are indelibles. Leave your mark, all right? Indelible basically means that you are irreplaceable. You are one of a kind, all right? Leave your mark on this life, man. Leave your mark on it, all right? Because, this life is like a portrait. All right, you got to make of it what you're gonna make of it. You know what I mean? So make sure to make something beautiful out of it. You know what I mean? Make something beautiful out of it. That's what life is. Life is like a portrait. Make something beautiful out of it. BIYA currently trying to curl its way on up right now. I'm keeping an eye on it a little bit because right now it's it's just trying to move. I'm seeing if it's gonna like curl or not. But right now, mm, you know how it is, ladies and gentlemen. It's currently just trying to climb its way on up right now. Trying to climb its way on up. Up 126. Can it break through 135 though? That's the question. Yeesh. So right now, currently up 131. Up. It's trying, man. It is trying to break that high a day. It's like testing it right now, just a little bit. BIYA currently testing the high a day. All right. So right now, BIYA is currently up 125, hit a high of 135, tried to smack 131 and fell back down. So right now, we'll keep an eye on this stock for BIYA. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to check us out on our YouTube at Coach Nick Money. At Coach Nick Money. You can check us out on our X.com, aka Twitter, at Coach Nick Money, at Coach Nick Money. And of course, you can check us out on our Facebook, Instagram, and Threads at Coaching Money, at Coaching Money. And of course, you can check us out on our TikTok, Tiki Taki Tiki Taki, aka the Tac Tac. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. So you can find us there at DBL Nicks, at DBL NICKS, and the screen name is Coach Nick Money. So yeah, that's pretty much it for me. Much love, ladies and gentlemen. I will see you guys some other time, and peace out. We will see you guys actually at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Power Plays, which is hosted by the legend himself, Coach Nick Money. It's hosted by the Coach Meister General himself. He is going to be basically coming down from the throne to basically, to lay down some facts, look at some stonks, look at some pre-parabolic stonks, maybe, potentially, and some pre-power play stonks, before the power play, the power hour, because basically he looks at the stonks prior to power hour when some volume starts coming in during the afternoon, and also, he takes a look at the current stonks around there, and he plays some Fortnite as well. He plays some Fortnite. That's the play portion of the show. So he basically looks at stonks and plays Fortnite. Those are the two aspects of it. Very fun, very fun, very fun. So be sure to check out the Power Play show, which is coming right at you live on Facebook. Actually, no, live on YouTube, X, and Twitch. It's going to be live there, ladies and gentlemen. So be sure to check it out. All right. And be sure to stay tuned. I mean, like, comment, and subscribe on our YouTube channel. Follow us on X. And yeah, stay tuned, man. Stay tuned for that because that's going to be at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So check it out, ladies and gentlemen. Much love. I'll see you guys later. Have a good day.